Okay, I want to thank everyone for joining us today. My name is Boris Herzl. I am the program manager for the Guam Apex Accelerator. Normally, when you attend our webinars, you would see a slide here that tells you a little bit about what we do. I'm pretty sure you guys are all our clients, so we don't need to go through that today. We have a special presentation today about the NAVSEA SBIR or SBIR program. And this is being recorded and will be posted on our YouTube channel. If you have any questions, please feel free to type them in the chat. I'll be checking the chat as we go along, or you can save them till the end. There's probably time for questions at the end as well. But I'm not going to waste any more time here. I'm going to turn this over to James Torretti. He is a program manager for a contractor that runs the NAVSEA SBIR program. And James, thank you very much for doing this for us. Take it away.
Thanks. Thanks for inviting me to join, and I'm looking forward to telling you all about the Navy's SBR STTR program, Small Business Innovation Research and Small Business Transfer Technology Transfer Programs. So, next slide, please. Basically, the SBR STTR program is congressionally mandated program, and they're designed to stimulate technological innovation. They're increasing private sector commercialization of federal R&D to increase competition, productivity, and economic growth. Foster and encourage participation by socially and economically disadvantaged small businesses and that are 51% owned and controlled by women. Basically, we're trying to reach out to some of the women-owned 8A type businesses. But really, with the SBR program, um, the the contracts that are awarded are based on the proposals, the technology uh, presented in the proposals, the staffing, and the commercialization. We want to also stimulate a partnership of ideas and technologies between small businesses and research institutions. Basically, the SBR STTR program is the largest source of early stage technology financing in the US and are currently authorized till the 30th of this month. And hopefully, we're going to be reauthorized here shortly. There's a number of things in Congress to reauthorize the program. The SBA calls the SBR STTR program America's Seed Fund. And basically, that is because what it is, it's the earliest opportunity for small businesses to really get into the arena of government contracting. It really makes it a very simple forum and for that kind of contracting. So next slide, please. Now, the SBR STTR program is basically required for all government agencies that have at least $100 million in R&D. So you'll see that many of the different agencies, other than just DoD, have to have an SBR STTR program by congressional statute. So these are some of these are all of the agencies, the 11 federal agencies, 12 DoD components, and 8 Department of Navy systems commands that participate in the program. Next slide. The Small Business Innovation Research Program was established in 1982. And like I said, basically Congress stated that uh, any government agency with $100 million in R&D had to set a part of that money aside for small businesses. Can't just go all the primes. Currently, we're at 3.2% of the intramural R&D funds for small businesses. Um, and that really equates to, at NAVSEA, about $150 million a year. To be eligible for the SBR program, you have to be a small business, a US-based small business, organized for profit, less than 500 employees, and 50% of it has to be U.S. ownership. And that's the only requirement basically for the SBR program. You don't, there is no dollar value as with many of the designations for SBA. The Small Business Administration does manage the SBR program, and they're trying to increase small business participation in federally funded R&D. By stimulating technology innovation, increases the private sector commercialization of federal R&D. A big portion of the SBR program is not only is the technology for the particular agency, but it also has to have a commercial uh, application too before we put it out for solicitation. The Small Business Transfer Program was established in 1992, and that is basically saying that funds are cooperative R&D between the small business and a research institute, such as a nonprofit college or university, a nonprofit scientific research organization, or a federally funded R&D center. It creates vehicles for moving these ideas from research institutions to market and enables researchers to pursue commercial applications for technologies. One of the main requirements for that is that 0.35, 30% has to go to the R&D, the research institute. And then the rest can be divvied up. And then another 40% stays with the small business. These kind of STTRs are normally more research orientated. They're more kind of pure type of research topics and things of that nature. Next slide, please. So at NAVSEA, our budget usually is about $150 million a year. And the way we spend that money is we'll go out to our program executive offices for what we call topics. What is the technology needs that they have that a small business can meet? And so we'll put those topics out on solicitation in a broad area announcement. We'll accept proposals from the small businesses. We'll normally select 3 proposals for what we call phase 1, which is the concept development and the feasibility of that concept. And we give that small business $240,000 to develop that concept for us over 6 to 12 months. Normally, we give them $140,000 on the base with a $100,000 option if they go to phase 2. And this is all SBR and STTR funding. And we make those for DOD, we do all contracts. There are some agencies that actually do grants for the SBR and STTR program. But for DOD, it's primarily contracts. We normally select about 3 companies for a phase 1. At the end of the phase 1, we'll down select those 3 companies to 1, possibly 2 companies, and we give them what we call phase 2, which is the technology development and a prototype. We give them up to $2 million over 24 to 36 months to develop that prototype for us. And that's all SBR, STTR funding again. Once again, it's contracted through a program office and additional phase 2 authorities. So essentially what we're doing is we're giving small businesses $2.2 million to develop something we're going to buy from them. And they get to keep the data rights to anything that they develop, even with our money. So that's a pretty good deal in my mind. And then, of course, the main purpose is to get to transition, what we call transition, which is phase 3. And that's any award that derives from or extends or completes a prior SBIR funded effort. So basically, when you done a phase one or a phase two SBR, you kind of join an elite group and you become eligible for phase three. You have a right to sole source contract under phase three based on the technology you've previously developed. You're exempt from SBA size standards. So even if you're acquired by a large business, um, that technology you developed under the SBR is still eligible for phase three. There's no limit to the number of awards or the value of the awards. And the award must go to an SBR performer to the greatest extent practicable. And normally, in all of it is non-SBR STTR funding. And it's also awarded through the sponsoring program office. Next slide. So what are some of the phase three authorities? Now, the government must award phase three contracts by statute to SBR and STTR firms that have developed the technology to the greatest extent practicable. The statute justifies a sole source follow-on contract, and the requirement for competition has actually been satisfied in phase one and phase two. The government must notify SBA if they're deviating from that in any way. And the SBA can compel the government to terminate a contract if the contract should have gone to an SBR STTR company. Phase three SBR STTR awards are authorized pursuant to 15 USC 638 R4. So further justification is not needed. And like I said before, there is no limit value on the number of phase three award contracts or the value. And phase three funds can come from any program office. Some of the firms that you may be familiar with that started out as SBR STTR firms is Qualcomm, Broadcom. Some of the technologies that have been developed under the SBR STTR program is the iRobot, the auto vacuum that goes around, the Wii controller that was developed as an SBR STTR program, and there's also a nice lifeguard system that USV that goes out and can rescue personnel that may get caught into rip currents or anything of that nature, and that's called Emily. But those are just some of the technologies that have been developed under the SBR STTR program that's transitioned to the commercial world. Next slide. So like I said, we have a broad area announcement. This year, DoD is doing something just slightly different, and they're actually going to release our solicitation every month, beginning on the first Wednesday of the month. And normally those releases start with a pre-release for approximately a month long pre-release. And that gives you the opportunity to talk with some of the topic authors about the technology that they put into their topic. It'll open about, like I said, about a month later and then closes a month later. And during that opening, you can still ask questions of the the topic authors, but those go into a automated topic question and answer, and those answers are actually available for everybody. Not all components participate in solicitation. We are been mandated by Congress to also have an open topic every year. And with some of the new legislation that's been proposed, that's actually going to go across all agencies, the requirement for an open topic. The way Navy does that is we try to have our open topic actually focused on a particular type of technology we're looking at. And those typically are released in July or August. Like I said, during the pre-release period, you can talk to the TPOC, the topic authors, and the topic authors are expected to respond. And we highly encourage small businesses to reach out to the authors in order to get more information about the technology that they're looking for. What are some of the requirements that didn't quite make it into the topic description? What are some of the platforms? What are some of the areas that they expect this technology to actually get into and things of that nature? Like I said, during the open period, you can ask those technical questions, but after the topic actually opens, there's a question and answer uh, format so that you can still ask questions, but like I said, they are open to all people to view. And once the BAA closes, small business can no longer submit any proposals, and the proposal evaluations begin. We highly encourage everybody to read the BAA and then reread it again because all the requirements for your proposals are spelled out. Um, if you are submitting a proposal, don't wait till the last minute to put it in because, as everybody knows, there's always some kind of technology glitch with the system. So you definitely want to put it in. And really, getting a chance to take a look at some of these technologies. Every small business has developed something that is their key product or their key product line. But sometimes, you had an idea to develop that product line. So by taking a look at these topics, you may have a good idea on how maybe to develop that topic into a technology for the Navy to utilize. And we're going to pay you to do that. So it's really, uh, beneficial to you to take a look at those topics every time they come out and see if there's anything of interest. Next slide. Just give you some of the innovation delivered for FY24. We had 151 topics for all of Navy. We got received over 31,000 proposals for those topics. We did 472 Phase 1 awards. We did 286 Phase 2 awards. And we did over $1.6 billion in transitions. Transitions are really how we're graded on how effective our program is. So we really try to make sure that we give our small businesses that are doing SBIR, STTR work with us an opportunity to transition. When we put out our topics, the Navy already has those linked to an acquisition program from the get-go. Unlike some of our sister services like Air Force, ours are already linked to an acquisition program. Navy is the best at transitioning technology in DoD, and DoD is one of the best of all the agencies in transitioning technology. Next slide. Some of SBIR, Navy SBIR differentiators. Like I said, we're transition driven topics from the beginning. We're tied to acquisition, modernization, and sustainment programs. Even during our phase 2 work, every 6 months, we're doing a project review where we're getting the acquisition offices, the TPOC, the technology manager together with the small business to kind of see where the project is headed and see where it's going. We connect our topics to solutions to Navy customers. We accept proposals from firms who are majority earned by venture capital operating companies and hedge funds or private equity firms. And we also are funded, we do fund our Navy SBIR STTR transition program. We actually have a program that's unique to Navy during our phase two, where we actually have a company that works with the small businesses, develop marketing materials, briefs, kind of elevator pitches, and also works with them to develop what are some of the market uh, people that they can talk to, where does their technology fit within the Navy, not just in the particular acquisition office that they originally the topic was geared towards, but where else may that topic fit? And that's all free of charge to the small business. Next slide, please. And just give you an idea of some of our transition programs. We do have, like I said, the SBR STTR transition program. That's 11-month program where the only thing that the small businesses are required is their time to develop these products. We help those small business assist in the transition of their technologies. We actually pay for them to go to certain conferences and stuff like Sierra and Space and Gold Coast to and give them a booth so that they can show that their technology to other customers in the Navy and possibly get some contacts, maybe even with some prime contractors also. We also have the Department of the Navy SBR STTR experimentation cell. They help the small business actually connect with different types of Navy exercises so that their technology may be tested real world and get some feedback from actual warfighters out there on their technology. And it's a full spectrum, end-to-end facilitation, mentoring, and training in all the aspect of the experimentation. We also do Navy launch. This is a 10-month program to educate and accelerate the scale beyond the traditional defense markets. Our Navy launch programs takes their cohorts and actually works with the small business to develop markets in the commercial world where their technology actually fits. By prioritizing markets, exploring private funding, customer discovery, and engagement for new growth. And then recently we started a private capital education program to give a deeper understanding to private capital. We're not promoting any particular venture capital or private capital, but we want to make sure the small businesses have an opportunity to make informed decisions. Next slide.
Okay, just one second, James. We've had a lot of people enter into this webinar recently, so I just want to let everybody know again, if you have any questions, please feel free to type them in the chat or you can wait until the end. Thank you.
Well, how do you participate? Well, you can determine your eligibility at www.sbr.gov. Research the topics consistent with your business strategies. The topics are, you can find the topics at dodsbrsttr.mil and also on our website at navysbr.com. One of the things when you're also researching the topics is do your homework too. You know, actually go into Google. You can take a look at different uh, topics, different platforms, technologies using some of the keywords that we provide to look up some of the information. We also list some uh, 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 resources within our topics that so these topics were pulled from. So definitely you want to do your homework. Read the DoD and Navy specific instructions, the BAA. And we also on our website, we do have templates where you can, they'll help you to submit your proposal that meets the topic need. Uh, top proposals are evaluated based on three different criteria: the technology, the staff, and the commercialization. On our website, we have a phase three commercialization guidebook that can help you to answer any of questions about the commercialization of that. And we highly recommend people to take a look at that. Next slide, please. At NAVSEA, switching back out of Navy just to NAVSEA, this is kind of gives you an idea of our structure. Jason Shrepford is our program manager. Um, our contracting officer is Ann NeGuin. Kind of the chief of staff for us is Jacob McElhaney. Uh, our procurement lead is Daniel Ramos. She helps with all our contracting and interfaces with our contracting shop. Adrian McKellen, she does our financials. And then our special product projects, there's Vince Labasco. He does things like the AppFit program, which earmarks $10 million for small businesses and technology for um, production. They're looking for technologies that have been developed past the prototype and are going into production. And then we have six different program executive offices. We have carriers, integrated warfare systems, unmanned and small combatant. We have team ships technology manager, team subs, and we have kind of our HQ directorate's technology manager that kind of is the catch-all for all the others. All of these program executive offices develop our topics and then submit those into the BA for the technology that they're looking for. Next slide, please. Well, one of the other things that's recent to NAVSEA is we've kind of taken all of our shipbuilding programs, all of our ship maintenance programs, and we put those under what we call the Maritime Industrial Base Program. One recurring problem that we've had at NAVSEA is getting our ships out, whether they be new ships or ships undergoing maintenance and things like that. Making sure that the time that they're in dry dock is limited and that they're available for whatever missions are required by the Navy. So it's a single accountable program manager to assess, develop, and integrate and manage all the maritime industrial base efforts across the Department of the Navy. And they are refining that into 5 LOEs: workforce development, advanced manufacturing. I think, Boris, you told me they recently opened up a AM manufacturing there at Guam.
That's correct. Yep.
Supply chain resilience, shipyard infrastructure, and strategic outsourcing. NAVSEA SBIR support. We're trying to support the maritime industrial base as a naval organic industrial base initiative. We've teamed with O4 and the RMCs to identify 12 phase 2 projects supporting additive manufacturing and shipyard sustainment. We were given about $25 million last year from Navy to specifically address this, affecting obsolescence and sustainment, and continue engagement between our office and the MIB for future topic development. We're looking at possibly doing maybe an open topic next year with the Marine Industrial Base Program. Next slide, please. This just kind of gives you some of the metrics for NAVSEA. Last year, with some of our plus ups and everything, we ended up with a budget of about 183 million, and we ended up with about $21 million in STTRs. We put out 35 topics and three STTRs. And basically, a lot of the additional funding, what we use is what we call reach back from phase twos. After you've done a phase one or phase two, there may be some additional requirement, some more R&D required to get that topic, that technology ready for the warfighter. So we can do what we call another phase two to further develop that using SBIR, STTR funds to something that may be needed. Maybe there's some certifications needed, some experimentation, whatever is needed, we can fund those development of that technology. Also, once you've become a phase one or phase two, you can go to any agency and if you find a program office that is interested in your technology, they can also do a phase two to develop it specifically for them. We on many occasions we've used topics from other agencies, NASA, Department of Energy, Air Force topics, even some Army topics. We've utilized Department of Homeland Security. We've used some of their topics to develop it for some things that we needed for the Navy. It kind of gives you an idea of on the chart to your left, again, gives it by PEO. We try to give the PEOs that contribute the most to our budget kind of the biggest share to utilize for their SBR, STTR topics. So integrated warfare systems, they're kind of the big dog in the pool, so they get the most there for their topics. But we also save some money out in case there's a particular need or something else has come up during the course of events that really needs attention. And on the right there, just kind of gives you kind of an overview of some of the technologies we've been looking for and different things that we've actually invested in. Next slide. This just gives you kind of an example of some of the SBR successes we've had just in PEO ships. The SBR program is not going to build a new submarine or a new ship, but many of the technologies on the ship or carriers or anything that definitely fit within the SBR STTR program. So this just gives you kind of an idea of some of those technologies that we've developed for ships and that actually have gone on to phase three. Next slide. We do ask to stay in touch by email, and here's our website. You'll find on our website there's a whole bunch of information about the SBIR STTR program at Navy. There's even a search engine that you can do a keyword search, and you can see some of the technologies that actually have been awarded. They may be similar to products that you've developed or are developing. The nice thing about that search engine is it also not only lists the company that was awarded and kind of what their technology involved, but it also lists the technical point of contact for the Navy. So in a lot of cases, that might, if you want to try to get directly to somebody that might be interested in your product, you can utilize that to maybe reach out to those and see if there's any interest there. On that particular subject, I also, uh, any small business can reach out to the Office of Small Business Programs, and they will help you also to get in touch with potential um, program offices that might be interested in your technology. And next slide, I think that was it, right? Yes, I'll be happy to answer any questions that anybody might have now.
Yeah, thank you very much, James. That was very informative. Yeah, if anybody has any questions, please feel free to unmute themselves and ask away. I guess your presentation was perfect.
Hi,
So,
Boris. Can I have question
sure,
to
yes, go
James?
ahead. Yep.
Hi, James. Thank you. That's
Hi,
a
how you
really
doing?
wonderful presentation. So in phase one, do we need some letter of support from the Navy, or is it needed in the application?
No. In fact, most Navy program offices won't give you a letter of support, and you don't even need one from a prime. Many of our primes are actually kind of trolling the SBR STTR program to see what technologies are being developed that might fit within their profile. They like to use the SBR STTR program kind of as a way to do R&D within some of the projects and stuff that they're working through, mainly because they don't have to pay for it. The government's paying for it. So, but no, you don't need any kind of letter. You just need the proposal.
Thank you.
I had a question. So this is geared more towards Navy and NAVSEA. Are the other DoD agencies like Air Force and Army pretty similar?
Yeah, there is some nuances. Air Force does things a little bit different. A few years ago, they were running uh, kind of a $50,000 uh, program where they went out and got technology, and they would give small businesses $50,000. But in order to get to phase two, you had to find a program office that was interested in your technology, and it really soured it to a lot of the companies because there was really no way they had a lot of difficulty finding those program offices that might be interested, and that actual didn't count as a phase one by everybody else. So those technologies that were proposed during that is not were not we could not give a phase two on them to further develop them for us and stuff like that. So, but and then I think Army does something similar, but they do more of a year-long type of open topic where you can go in and out. But they're all listed in the BAAs that DoD releases. So definitely take a look at um, their specifics on what they're proposing out there too.
Okay, so if you're look at the BAA, the broad agency announcement, and you look at all the topics and none of them really relate to anything you're doing, is the open topic the avenue for you to just present something that doesn't relate to any of the other topics?
It can, but in Navy, we try to focus ours on particular technology we're looking for. I think this year they just recently closed, and we were looking for technologies that were in the unmanned and automated space, and then actually more so into the mine warfare type of technologies and stuff. Uh, but what I always recommend is just keep looking. You may not find something that directly relates, but at some point, there may be something there that fits within your product line. You're still on mute.
Sorry about that. I should know better. Are so this is coming from the chat. Are the proposed technologies are they for surface combatant or can a small business submit a UUV or drone project for civilian commercial purposes?
Well, these are all for Navy. These are Navy topics for development for the Navy. But like I said, a lot of our technologies can be commercialized to the private sector. That's kind of one of the main cornerstones of the SBR STTR program, is that there is some commercialization in the civilian world potential there. Like I said, the example I gave you is that one of the technologies that was developed was an unmanned surface vehicle for the Navy that then was turned into a lifeguard system that could go out and rescue swimmers that may be in trouble and things like that without getting the actual lifeguards in danger. A lot of those technologies, like I said, are able to be commercialized. And we never recommend a small business to, put all of their product line in the government contracting. It's always best to have, both government and commercial. But this gives you an opportunity maybe to pursue the commercial technology type of thing and at no real cost other than your time to you.
Yeah, and it's a fantastic opportunity. I mean, the government's willing to pay for your R&D and development of a prototype of your concept as long as it relates to one of the topics that they're putting out. So, I mean, it's pretty much a no-brainer. If you need funding, there it is. It's right there in front of you.
Right. And we recently had one that there was an SBIR company that was bought by General Dynamics, and they had developed a laser system, and that laser system is actually being installed on different ships throughout the fleet. And that contract is well over $1 billion for General Dynamics. So, as you can see, there's no limit to a phase two contract. Just last year, we did $1.6 billion in transitions just at Navy, and at NAVSEA, over $500 million of that was just at NAVSEA transitions and stuff. So,
Oh, that's great. There was a question about, are we going to share this information and the PDF with everybody? Yes, we will. And we will all post it on our YouTube channel as well, so everybody can watch it. I think something else just popped into the chat here, so let me just check that. Are there any Guam or CNMI small businesses that submitted to the I think this SBIR, STTR programs, what is the success rate? I do know we have one local business that did submit something and they got a phase one. This is a few years ago. It was something related to, I believe it was like a range extender for, like if you're out in the field and your Wi-Fi service is not working because you're too far away, this device would help uh, connect to a cell tower or something like that. So there was one person from Guam who did. That's all I know about. I don't know about anybody from the CNMI. Um, so what was the other? I'm sorry. The last part of that question was, oh, what is the success rate? Yeah. So I guess for people who turn in their proposals, what percentage get to the phase one stage, and then what percentage get to the phase two stage?
normally it's about 30% of our phase ones are new businesses. Part of what we're trying to do with these outreach programs is let the small businesses know about the program, and we're trying to find not your traditional type of suppliers and things like that for the Navy. Try to expanding our industrial base of suppliers that we can call on and stuff for that. So about 30% of new businesses are phase one. Usually about 20% make it to phase two
Hmm.
from all phase ones. But sometimes that could be more or less. But even after you've made it to phase one, you're eligible for phase three. You could go directly to phase three if there was a program office that was interested in your technology and wanted to fund you.
Right. And these are all like grants, right? So like let's say you get phase one funding and unfortunately your R&D is not successful and you can't make a prototype. There's nothing you need to pay back or anything like that.
No, you don't pay it back. DoD does contracts, so we are expecting a prototype at the end after the development. Some of the other agencies do grants directly.
Okay, so but I mean going back to the question then, so if you're selected for your phase one, but for whatever reason it fails, that's the end of the contract, right? I mean, there's no the vendor doesn't have to refund any money back to DoD or anything like that.
No, no. The phase one is a firm fixed price contract.
Okay.
The only deliverable is a report at the end of the phase one that tells us, what your concept is and the feasibility of that concept. And we use that report in our selections for phase twos too. So there's no prototype in phase one that's developed. We're looking for a prototype in phase two because we're trying to develop that technology on, and normally for phase one, it's about 6 months. For phase two, it's about 3 years. But if a small business can accelerate that R&D and get that technology developed a little bit sooner, it's to their uh, advantage to do that because, you know, with as we're seeing now with shifting administrations and shifting priorities and things like that, what might be interesting today for technology might not be interesting tomorrow. So the quicker they get it developed, the better chance they are of transitioning that.
Okay. There was a financial question in the chat. At what phase do most businesses, I guess, start making a profit off this? Is it during the commercialization in phase three, or when they're doing their phase one and two contracts, are they allowed to include profit as part of their overhead costs or?
Yes. Yeah, profit is built in on their phase one and phase two proposal.
Okay.
And
That's
at
good to know.
NAVSBIR.com, you can take a look at, we do have a cost template for our proposals and things of that nature. So you can take a look at how the costs are broken out and things of that nature.
Okay. All right. So get the template. That's the key there.
Yeah, take a look at the template.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions out there? All right. Going once, going twice. Oh, we got something new. Go ahead, Cal. I,
So, when we have technology that we want to how do we get to that stage one where we can have when we and yours James is saying that we can accumulate profits from there. Is it because we're tied with you as an Apex client and that I seem to the this seminar seem to point to stages that we have to go through, and for small businesses, they who cannot afford to go through this military, we're just crying for help from well, I mean, which states are we? Can we submit and get notice that we'll get? I'm sorry, Mr. Ashley. Mr. Ashley. Uh, I hope that question
no,
is
I,
something
I, I
for.
I think I understand. Yeah. So if I could just take this one. Yeah. So this program is for if you have an idea for a certain product that you want to bring to market, NAVSEA will help you fund that, fund the R&D, and then help bring the prototype into existence, basically. I mean, that's the general gist of it here. Um, so that's what this program is for. So, but it has to relate to some kind of topic that NAVSEA is putting out. So it can't just be anything in the world, right? It's got to relate to something that they need. So
Yeah, by
that's how the
statute,
program works.
government personnel are the only ones that can develop topics. We don't take ideas necessarily from industry, but of course, the government's going to conferences and things of that nature all the time, and they're seeing technologies that they're interested in, and so that becomes the breeding ground for their topics.
Right. So basically, you have to, respond to the topic by writing a proposal, a white paper, basically saying this is what we want to do, and if the Navy likes it, they'll select it, and then they'll start funding your phase one. I mean, that's a very simple way of putting it. It's not obviously not that simple, but that's pretty much how it works. Yeah.
And we do have that template for that proposal on our NAVSBR.com website, so you can just definitely take a look at that and see what's required. We do have a number of
Well,
topics that are coming out 1 October, so definitely take a look at those topics that are soon to be released.
And those are all released on sam.gov.
No, on the the DoD SBR STTR program, and you'll also be able to find those at NavySBR.com.
Okay. All right. So there was another thing about can you share the template? Yeah, I believe there was a link to it on the slide. So everyone's going to get the slide. So you'll have a link to it. Yeah. I hope that answered your question, Cal.
thank you, Mr. Boris, man. It's I have we do have as a company we do have this prototype, and we have the technology that's ready to rock and roll. I mean, we've been using the technology for the last 3 years with our company, and we know that this is beneficial. Where do we submit our prototype, or where do we start on that stage? That's what I wanted to know, and
Yeah, so you got to
getting
wait for the
from here to. I'm sorry.
You need to wait for the announcement to come out, and then you would respond to it and see if what you're doing relates to what they want. Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah,
Yeah, you can also contact the Office of Small Business Programs at NAVSEA or even at Navy, and they can help to maybe find some of the program offices that might be interested in your technology directly.
great, great. Any other questions out there? All right, I think let me just check the chat one more time. I don't believe there's any new questions in there, but nope. Okay. So I guess that's it. This is very informative. I want to thank you, James, very much for doing this. Especially staying up late, I guess. It's almost 9 o'clock on the East Coast, right? So
Yeah.
9 o'clock yesterday. So yeah, thank you very much. It's very informative, and hopefully we can do more of these in the future. And I'll give it to you for any last words.
Yeah, thank you very much for inviting me. Uh, Wish everybody best of luck, and like I said, definitely take some time, take a look at our topics, see if there's anything of interest. The DoD solicitation isn't just the Navy topics; it also includes Air Force, Army, Marine Corps, everybody else. Their topics will be out there too. So there definitely might be some technologies you're interested in.
All right, fantastic. Thank you once again, James, very much for this presentation. Like I said, everybody who attended will get a copy, so just make sure. Yeah, I think we know who everybody is on the call here, as well as a link to the recording that we posted on YouTube. And please fill out the evaluation, the webinar evaluation that was also sent to you probably about an hour and a half ago. Just click that link and tell us what you thought of the webinar. Let us know if you have any ideas for new topics. We're always looking for new topics related to government procurement. So thanks everyone for joining us today, and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.